fans, and welcome to yet another power-packed, power edition and episode number 29 of the record-breaking, network-innovating, trend-setting, booty-shaking, for those of you who are into that, vehicle for all your martial arts, fitness, and motivational needs. This is, ladies and gentlemen, the Yin and The Yang. And I, of course, am the Yin. I am the former two-time USW heavyweight champion and lifelong martial artist known as Anthony Chu, a.k.a. Chuzilla, the ultimate thriller. All muscle, no filler, baby. And today we are going to redeem ourselves from last week after we spent more than half the episode talking about WrestleMania. But we won't do that this week, folks, because we are going to make sure that we dedicate a huge segment to answer the fan questions from the commandos and the militants, because after all, this is a podcast of the people. We're going to get bare-knuckled with no filter on this episode as well. We'll review UFC Fight Night that just happened yesterday, shootout, Q&A, and a whole lot more. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, to join me in this vision quest, I wonder if he saw the movie or not, back in the day, to preach to the commandos and the militants, allow me to introduce the other half, the Yang. And ladies and gentlemen, he is not the better half of the podcast. You ready? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, here he is. He is the Ponzi scheming, American dreaming, WWE gleaming, vision beaming, sex steaming, and Jeep driving speed demon. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the king, the guru, the owner, operator. He is, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Larry. I am the better half of the retro gamers because I need the yin to be the yin and the yang Mormon.
I never saw Vision Quest.
You've never seen this movie back in the day called Vision Quest?
Never saw it.
It's about a kid who's trying to train to go in a different class, a weight class in amateur wrestling in high school. You never seen it?
No.
Okay, I've never seen the movie in full either, so I really,
So we're even.
I guess we are kind of even, but I do want to get that movie one day. Okay. Maybe I'll find it on Amazon or something.
How you been, my friend? What's going on? How's your week?
My week has been filled with over 60-something hours in the grind. I am working my ass off.
Good. Just
really, really tired. The OT is coming in pretty decently nice. So at least I'm trying to save up some funds here.
Okay.
And that way, and by the way, while I am saving up some funds here, I just wanted to once again thank you so much for the ticket to go to Chiller Theater. As a part of the Just When We Thought We Were Out, They Pull Us Back In tour. I appreciate that, Larry.
The my PayPal link will be texted to you.
No, please. Say no more. Say no more. I appreciate. Well, I never got the text, and I never got any link. So you can blame once again your technical team for that.
You will. I know how much you make from this show, so you will be paying. So I'll just garnish it from your pay.
Listen, I know exactly what I make on the show, and let's reveal it to the public. Do you know how much I make?
You want to do this? Do you want to do this?
I make nothing.
There is money that goes under your name in the More the Same account. I mean, that goes to your name.
I haven't seen a dime of it.
I have not
seen a dime of it.
It's getting to you. It's an
LLC. Why don't you reveal how much? I'm making?
So bare knuckle fighting, huh? That's wild stuff.
Yeah, the only bare knuckle fighting we're gonna have soon is when I send Ensign over there to smack you up a little bit, buddy.
Smack my bitch up. Smack my bitch up.
That's gonna be your theme song soon.
Little Prodigy.
Oh God. I thought you hated that group.
I'm not crazy about them, but the name Prodigy rings a bell.
Breathe is their best song.
I can agree with that.
So hey, listen, my week has just been crazy busy. A lot going on, in my side of the world. Mm-hmm. Now, how are you, my friend? Because, and for all the commandos and the militants who don't know, something not so good happened to you this past week, and we just want to make sure you're okay. All kidding aside.
Yeah, my the
gonorrhea
came
what
back.
Happened?
Wait,
that is not what I'm talking.
That's not. Nope. That was just a joke, everyone. That was just a joke.
What kind of falsified information are they feeding you over there in your technical team side of things?
I'm just joshing you. I was out helping a friend do some demolition work, and not 5 minutes arriving to the site, I decided to put a nice old rusty nail right through the bottom of my foot.
Oh my God, dude. What?
Yeah, that was no fun.
First of all, how big was the nail? How far did it go? And where in your foot did it go?
It went far enough. It went through the sole of my shoe. And then it went into my foot. I don't know how far in, but it went into my foot good enough where there was definitely blood that was soaked up by the sock. I even had a little trouble getting my shoe off. That's how far in it was.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Where in your foot did it hit?
It went right like near the front of the foot. Like the part under the kind of where the baby toe is, that kind of meaty part, right there at the top of the foot.
Well, you're lucky it's there and not the bone, man.
Yeah, no. Well, if it hit bone, it would have stopped.
God.
So,
oh my God! Ugh.
So yeah, that sucked. But because it happened so quick, I being the man that I am, I continued on helping at the house. So I worked through it, and then I decided to go to the hospital.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, just for a tetanus shot. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing. The only reason why I most likely went to a hospital is because it was so late at night. There really weren't any urgent cares open. So
did they give you any antibiotics?
Yeah.
Did they give you any painkillers? Did they give you?
I wasn't in pain. I'm not in pain. I never was in pain. But they definitely gave me antibiotics because God only knows what was in that nail. And they gave me a tetanus shot because I'm not 100% sure when the last time I got a tetanus shot. I mean, they're good for 10 years, but, precautionary. Just give me another one. So it's really the most expensive Band-Aid I paid for because of my health insurance. And also, when I got home yesterday, late at night, I realized that they still have my insurance card and driver's license.
Holy crap. Well, then how the hell did you didn't get it back yet?
They're going to mail it back to me.
That's ridiculous. So then you can't drive to work tomorrow.
Well, I can drive. I just got to make sure I don't get pulled over.
Oh, man. Be very careful. Be very careful. Now, let me ask you a question in a situation like this. Let's just say if, God forbid, anything of this sort of nature happens to anybody listening to this. My question would be in an initially your, I guess, gut instinct or your natural reaction is to basically pull the nail out as soon as possible. Am I correct?
Yeah, which it wasn't moving. It was not moving. In fact, we had to get a hammer, the back of the hammer, to pry the nail out of the shoe.
Oh, my God. My God.
The fleshiness of the foot allowed the rusty old nail with probably who knows what on it. Anything could have been on it. And so that came out easily out of the bottom of my foot. But we did have to pry it off. And also, folks, next, don't wear sneakers when you're going to be doing some demo work. Make sure you wear heavy boots.
Well, the thing about it is that so you pried it out on your own, right?
Yeah.
Or somebody did it for you. And then what
happened was I took my shoe off. So the nail came with that, even though it was a little tough to get the shoe off with the nail in. But I was able to get the nail out. Obviously it was bleeding instantly. And then we pried the nail out of the shoe. And a little funny thing, I have insoles in the shoe, for comfort, for walking. Hello?
Yes,
Okay.
I am hearing you. I'm just listening to you.
So I have insoles in the shoe, to make it comfortable for walking, and you can actually see, because, just the nature of putting taking off and on my shoes, like the front of it kind of, gathers up a little bit, no big deal. But you could actually see these like tiny pinholes from where the nail went through the insoles.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous.
So I go to the hospital, like literally, like they kind of, because it was late and wasn't really busy, so they actually got me to a bed. I mean, they just put me in the ER, not the, like the what do they call it? Not the waiting room, not necessarily the emergency room, but kind of like I guess you can call it the ER. So they put me in a bed just for me to wait for a doctor to show up. So that was about 20 minutes. And then in a span of like 15 minutes, I saw 4 different people. Like 2 doctors, probably the nurse who gave me the shot and the antibiotic, and the guy who checked me in, took all my insurance information.
Wow.
But I was fine. No pain.
All right. As long as you're okay,
yeah.
Because we want to make sure you're all right. I don't have to start a GoFundMe page. Well, no. Let's not start a
GoFundMe
anyway. Page or an Indiegogo page. For what reason?
I could use the money.
Oh, for heaven's sake, you run a goddamn network. You basically have a grind that you go to 5 days, 6 days a week, or whatever the hell you do. You're probably what are you prostituting yourself on the side next?
That is neither here nor there.
Okay, then. What do you need money for?
The one thing I was kind of shocked at the hospital, not that I was expecting it, but I thought they would clean the wound.
Excuse me, I'm trying to ask you something and trying to bring a point, and then you change the subject. What are you, Donald Trump now?
I was continue. I wish. You know what? I will. Ha! You're fired.
Okay, first of all, that was the worst impression I've ever heard. Secondly, all right.
Who do you think does Trump on the better half?
Oh Lord. No. Listen. We don't need to get into all that now, okay? All I'm going to say is that, oh, by the way, did you go to your accountant this year since it's already tax day? Did you go to your accountant and basically say that you're not paying any taxes because it's smart?
I pay and my money is so to the point, my taxes come out to $0.
You scheming shyster.
Which is what it's supposed to be. We should not have to pay nor owe anything. Or be refunded.
Do you know what a bull does by the grass?
What?
Shits.
Is that an ancient Chinese proverb?
No, I'm just calling it bullshit.
My taxes were done back in February, my friend.
Okay, all right. I do mine ASAP. Once I get my W-2, it is gone.
I'm going to have to do more taxes next year, but that's going to suck.
Hold on a second. What the hell is this now? What the... jeez. What is wrong with this kid? Hey, Ensign. What now? Listen.
Got some issues.
I'm trying to record. We're trying to get the show started. And what the... Hey! Uh-oh. Hey, come back here.
Oh, where's he going?
Whoa! Oh!
Uh-oh. What?
Hey, get the hell back here. Don't put on that headset. Don't do it, kid. Don't do it.
Hey, wait a minute. Look at this. Holy cow. This is a first. This is an absolute first.
Get back here. Don't disrespect Larry.
Wait a minute. What? Ensign?
Fuck you.
Oh, what? Uh-oh.
Fuck you.
Wait, no. Ensign.
Oh, hey, get the hell back here.
Ensign's just running for it now.
Sit down.
I don't know what that was all about. I mean, he ate all my ice cream.
Don't tell Larry go fuck himself. What the hell's the matter with you?
What is going on over there? What is happening? What is going on over at the compound?
That little prick tried to punch me in the face.
I saw.
He took a screamer stick and tried to whale me with it. Thank goodness he doesn't know how to fight for shit.
And you got your cat-like reflexes.
Exactly. So I took the stick away from him, and I tried to take a swing at him, and he just ran up to the monitor right in the studio. He breaks the door open. He runs into the studio, and he just said, fuck you, twice.
I don't understand why. I treat him like gold.
Well, he's over there now. He's Hey, get back here. What the hell?
What is going on? We are losing. We are oh, wait a minute. I think he may be. Oh. Wow. He made a run for it.
Son of a...
He made a run. I can't believe he's on the loose.
He ran away.
He's on the lam.
Listen, if I were you, I would lock the studio door. I'm just telling you now.
Honestly, we're not that far from each other.
He's on some shit right now. So, look, he may appear later. I don't know. He may appear now. I'm not sure. But, but yeah, so just be on the lookout, okay?
Man, all those, I hope he signed all that paperwork I told him to sign.
What paperwork?
Don't worry about it.
Oh, wait a minute. What paperwork now?
I don't know. All right, let's move on with the show, Justin.
We got a show to do.
Jeremiah, I need you to lock down. Yeah, I need you to lock all the doors, secure the security cameras. We are on DEFCON 3 right now. DEFCON 3. No, this is not a drill. Yes, it was a drill last week. It is not a drill right now.
Larry, it's not like he's the fucking Punisher, okay? Come on.
I can't take any non-precautionary measures.
Oh, for heaven's sake. It's
remember, lock and load. Lock and load.
Lock and load.
Look, I know you don't have any formal training in an AR-15 subcategory.
Hey.
What? Oh. When you get the baseball bat, just stay armed and ready by the door. Okay. All right. We're going to be good. We're going to be safe.
The technical team can just edit that shit out now. Okay. Guns. Hey. So listen.
So let's move on with the show.
Okay. So let's start the show now. Finally, how deep are we into this already?
We're about 17 minutes.
Okay. So I'm sorry, fans. It took us 17 minutes to finally get to the show itself. But the first thing, before we say a word, I am not planning this. I am not scripting this. I am going to read this out right now as we speak. We just want to we deeply regret to inform everybody out there that I have just learned about this right now. This is breaking news. And I just found out that R. Lee Ermey, also known as Ronald Lee Ermey, who played Gunnery Sergeant Hartman in Full Metal Jacket, has passed on.
Oh, my gosh. Really?
Yes.
Oh, man, how old was
he? He was 74 years old, and he passed on because of complications from pneumonia.
Oof. 74, that's it?
Yeah, he was 74 years old.
That's young nowadays.
For those of you who don't know who R. Lee Ermey is, he was an American actor. He was a voice actor. He's also he's best known for playing Gunnery Sergeant Hartman in Full Metal Jacket, which earned him a Golden Globe nomination for Best Supporting Actor. But before all of this, at the root of who he is, he was a former United States Marine Corps Staff Sergeant and honorary gunnery sergeant. During his tenure with the Marine Corps, he served as a drill instructor. Now, just to give you some accomplishments of this man, he was known, his nickname was the Gunny, all right? He was a Marine Corps, he was a Marine Corps soldier. He served in the Vietnam War, and his years of service to the Corps, Semper Fi, by the way, was in 1961 to 1972. His unit was called the India Company 3rd Recruit Training Battalion, Marine Wing Support Group 17. And it says here, according to Wikipedia, Meritorious Unit Commendation, Republic of Vietnam Gallantry Cross.
Okay.
Which is I'm guessing it's pretty powerful,
Mm-hmm.
He has done a lot, but that movie Full Metal Jacket, when I first saw the movie, honestly, okay, if for those of you who have never seen this movie, it is basically about training. The first half of the movie is about training in the Marine Corps, going through basic training. And the second half of it really talks about fighting in the Vietnam War itself.
Yeah, to me, it's always been two separate movies.
Right.
You
absolutely.
can see both half of those movies independently.
I'm not going to say that one half is better than the other, but to me, my favorite half was the training aspect.
Yes, I agree with that.
You know, because some of the lines that he has in that movie, man, holy crap. It was just, where do you come up with this stuff? It's just wild, you know? He was... Uh-oh.
Toe jam. Pop that blister.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man.
Jesus H. Christ. Private Pile, why is your footlocker unlocked?
Sir, I don't know, sir.
Private Pile, if there is one thing in this world that I hate, it is an unlocked footlocker. You know that, don't you?
Sir, yes, sir.
If it wasn't for dickheads like you, there wouldn't be any theater in this world, would there? Sir.
Oh, my God.
That's the jelly donut scene.
That was... And then that night, they threw him a blanket party.
Oh, did they ever?
Private Pile.
And we'll just a little bit of the beginning.
I am Gunnery Sergeant Hartman, your senior drill instructor. From now on, you will speak only when spoken to. And the first and last words out of your filthy sewers will be, sir. Do you maggots understand that?
Sir, yes, sir.
Bullshit, I can't hear you. Sound off like you got a pair.
Sir, yes, sir.
If you ladies leave my island, if you survive recruit training, you will be a weapon. You will be a minister of death praying for war. But until that day, you are pukes. You are the lowest form of life on earth. You are not even human fucking beings.
Oh, that was some wild stuff.
There was one scene where he talks about how God loves Marines.
Oh, yeah.
Because they send what is it, like the filthy scum, or they send I guess souls or whatever to him or something like that. Dude, that is one hell of a film, man.
And here, you know how he got that gig, right?
I heard that apparently they didn't want to pick him, and he literally just screamed the living shit out of...
No. What happened was they had an actor. I don't think anyone famous, but they had an actor for the drill sergeant role. He was on set as an advisor because he was a drill instructor. Okay. And who directed that movie? Stanley Kubrick. Kubrick's like, get that guy out, put this guy in. And that's how he got the job. That's how he got the gig, and that's how he started his acting career.
Wow. Wow. Oh, you don't want to hear an uncredited film that he was in? So Philip Rhee is best known for the movie The Best of the Best, where the Korean team fights the United States team in a karate tournament for it's like a national tournament, right? And so they did these direct-to-video Best of the Best 2, Best of the Best 3, Best of the Best 4. And Sergeant Ermey was actually in part 3.
Oh, yeah?
But he was so ashamed of the role, he just didn't even want credit for it. Actually,
oh, man.
Because he played a kind of like a white supremacist separatist or something like that. So he was not very happy with that role, but he took it. I heard he took it as a favor to somebody. So, so Sergeant Ermey, thank you for your service. Really appreciate it. Appreciate everything you've done in the movie screen, out of the movie screen, but more so, for serving your country. Really, really appreciate it, sir. Rest in peace.
Absolutely.
All right. So, okay. So as we go onward, UFC Fight Night last night was crazy.
Oh, yeah?
And to be very honest with you, I was going to go to B-Dubs, not the same one, but I was going to go to B-Dubs, and I was going to go in there, and I was going to go and, grab food or whatever. But here's the problem. I stayed home because I knew I had to go back to the grind, and I was just really tired. I was really out of it, or whatever the case was. So I got to see the fight I wanted to see. which was Michelle Waterson. And she fought this huge girl. I mean, she didn't even look like she was a straw weight. So it was wild. Michelle Waterson, one of my favorite female MMA fighters, actually won by split decision.
Mm-hmm.
And so she beat Courtney Casey, split decision. And be very honest with you, it was so back and forth. Michelle Waterson had a very cold start, and then she picked up the pace. She did her takedowns, and her wrestling's getting better, which I was very, very happy about. And then after that fight, I'm glad I didn't go to B-dubs because, quite frankly, I fell asleep. Right? So I fell asleep, and then it just so happens I woke up for the main event.
Yes.
Thank you, Matt. And I saw the lightweight main event, which was Dustin Poirier versus Justin I can't even say his name. Is Gaethje?
Okay. What is it?
I don't know. Gaethje. It's a really weird last name.
Brazilian?
So anyway, I guess so. Well, let's just put it this way. Dustin Poirier won, and it was, I think, you can nominate this fight as definitely, possibly fight of the year so far.
Wow.
I mean, you're talking about, I woke up watching this fight because I was kind of like nodding off, and then from the very get-go, they were slugging it out. The groundwork was phenomenal. It almost looked so precise that you would have thought it was choreographed.
Really?
It was just that smooth that when they were on the ground and they were striking, when they were on the ground transitioning and working their jiu-jitsu or their wrestling, it was pure. Like, it was just unbelievable. And then all of a sudden, once they got up, they started swing.
Really?
And Dustin Poirier won by punches, knocked him out.
Oh, good.
Which was nuts. I mean, really crazy. And Poirier is one of those guys who just doesn't get enough credit because he's overshadowed by a lot of other people. Conor McJackass being one of them, and a few others, so, but I really hope Dustin Poirier actually gets up there and really gains and commands the respect that he deserves. Other than that, I didn't see anything else. I heard Carlos Condit, meaning the Natural Born Killer, actually lost and got submitted by a guillotine choke.
Really?
Yeah. Other than that, another well-known name, which is Tim Bosch, got submitted, and he's a beast. And he got submitted with a rear naked choke. That's all I can remember at this point because I don't see anybody else that I actually know of. Oh, yeah. Yushin Okami fought in the prelims and a welterweight, and Yushin Okami actually won a fight.
Really?
I couldn't believe it. He was like, the guy has the winning streak of Barry Horowitz.
Oh, man.
Let's just put it that way. So he actually won a fight, and I'm just very impressed. So that was definitely one thing. So, all in all, it was just, I found it very interesting. Found it very surprising. And if you want to talk about punches and strikes and all that other stuff, it gives us a perfect segue, Larry, into promoting the next topic on our agenda this week.
Okay.
So, listen to this. Bare Knuckle FC Fighting Championships is promoting an event as the first state-sanctioned bare knuckle card in the United States since 1889.
Really?
Yes. So, I kid you not, a bare knuckle fighting event is coming to the United States, and it'll be completely legal and regulated. So it says here on June 2nd in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Cheyenne, Wyoming probably has the population of 5, right? And it features multiple former UFC and Bellator fighters and current pro boxers. promoter David Feldman had said on Tuesday that Wyoming recently passed rules that sanction bare knuckle fighting in the state.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, listen, I've been to Wyoming. I like it. It's the least most populated state in the United States. It's part of the Great Plains states, and to be very honest with you, there really isn't a whole hell of a lot to do out there. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But Feldman is promoting it there because they gave him – it's the only state in the country that gave him the okay. It'll be the first government-sanctioned bare-knuckle event in the United States in 131 years.
Wow.
Okay? Fighters will not wear gloves.
Hence bare knuckle.
And will only use hand wraps that end 1 inch from the knuckles. Right?
Okay.
It's true. And Feldman quotes, and I quote, "It's truly the first legal sanctioned bare knuckle fighting event in the United States since 1889. I certainly believe that drawing a number of names, very familiar names, like Bobby Gunn, former UFC champion Rico Rodriguez, former UFC and Bellator fighter Joe Riggs, Big Daddy Joe Riggs, kickboxer Maurice Jackson, former Bellator heavyweight Eric Prindle, and former UFC fighters DJ Linderman and Johnny Bedford will all be in the card.
Okay.
It'll be a part of the promotion's heavyweight tournament, with the first round being held on June 2nd. The event will air on pay-per-view.
Really?
For $29.99.
That's not a bad price.
Tickets to watch live are available at bareknuckle.tv, starting at $50.
Okay.
Right? So, but now wait a minute. Why would you pay $50 to watch it on Bare Knuckle TV when you can air it on pay-per-view for $30 and subscribe to it for $30 there?
Why did I pay so much money to go to New Orleans to watch WrestleMania when I could watch it at home for $10?
This is not exactly the WrestleMania of bare knuckle fighting.
I'm just saying, though, sometimes you just want to be there.
Okay. Well, I certainly ain't going to Cheyenne, Wyoming anytime soon, so I might as well just watch it on pay-per-view if that's the case. It says here that they will have sanctioned weight classes like MMA, and the rule set will differ slightly from boxing too.
Mm-hmm.
So listen to this. Clinch fighting is much more acceptable in the bare knuckle rules world. So you know what clinch fighting is, right?
No.
So like in the octagon, when you watch an MMA fight, you know how one fighter presses the other fighter up against a cage?
Yes.
And they start striking?
Yeah.
That's accepted in bare knuckle fighting.
Oh, okay.
Right? With fighters getting more leeway to punch with their free hand while tied up inside.
Mm-hmm.
Punches are the only strikes allowed. Okay? Now, this is where I'm a little bit confused because I think that this guy Feldman is kind of in another planet. All right? Listen to this. He says that he went to 28 different athletic commissions and was rejected by all of them until Wyoming played ball. His argument of bare knuckle fighting is that gloves were adopted for boxing and MMA to protect the hands of fighters, not their heads.
I can kind of see that.
Okay, but then he also takes it to another level. Bare knuckle, as Feldman argues, his point is that it's actually safer when it comes to the concussions and brain injuries, more safer than boxing, regular boxing.
Again, I can kind of see that because it probably won't be as many strikes.
What? How? Because if punches are the only thing you can sanction and you're literally knocking somebody bare knuckle on their heads.
Yeah, but like 50 shots with a glove versus like 10 shots bare knuckle, the match would probably end quicker. And you're not getting repeatedly pounded in the head.
Wow. Okay.
I'm sure these fights aren't going to last long. I mean, if a 12-round boxing match went bell to bell, that's getting punched in the head for what? They're 3 minutes apiece, so for a long time.
Right. He states it's not just a great idea; it's safer for the fighters. One of those athletic commissions has to believe in the facts. Wyoming Combat Sports Commission Chairman Brian Peterson told MMA Fighting that MMA and kickboxing provide more head injury causing blows than bare knuckle fighting would, and that the state sanctions each of those. We're already regulating sanctioned MMA and kickboxing, and in both of those, you can receive a knee to the head, a shin kick to the head, and the elbow to the head. And that's all heavy, blunt force trauma. So hand striking scores far lower than that, and I think you'll see far less concussive blows to fighters, and that'll protect everybody. Well, okay. And then basically it's a pretty long article, but I will say to you that he believes it will, Feldman really believes that this will be a trendsetter and believes that his state is filled with working class people who support combat sports and bare knuckle fighting. He goes on to finally say at the very end of this article that it's sanctioned in all other nations, and many, many other nations. It's not a backyard street fight, and people have to understand that every fighter that's fighting in this card is an experienced professional combat fighter, right? Feldman said he promoted a bare knuckle matchup involving the popular gun in 2011 on Native American casinos in Arizona, and the venue was filled with 5,500 people.
Wow.
With thousands of others having to be turned away.
Huh. Sounds like a sellout.
Right. I mean, I it's interesting, He says that there is a market here if it's marketed correctly. I mean, I don't know, man. I think that, you see, now, this guy Feldman, let me put it to you this way, okay? I think that, first of all, do you applaud Wyoming for actually sanctioning this?
I don't have a problem. As long as there's a regulation with it, I don't have a problem with it.
My main concern is making sure that the fighters are protected.
Exactly.
And they're going to be okay. Because I don't want to hear about anybody dying or anybody having serious, injury. Because, I mean, if it's treated as a sport, I just want to make sure people are protected.
Agreed.
That's definitely number one. The second thing is, I think that there's a huge generalization about fighting bare knuckle as opposed to fighting with pad work, padding on your hands.
Okay.
I think that when people think about hitting something or somebody with just your hands alone, they think that it's going to hurt more. Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, look, street fights. I mean, if you go on YouTube, look at any street fight, right? Anybody who knocks someone else.
Kimbo Slice.
You'll know that these fights don't last very long.
Exactly.
Or just anybody, any random person fighting another person in a real life situation. Mm-hmm. These don't last very long. Now, what I'm hoping is that they would not only protect the fighters, but they'll basically, I don't see a problem with it. But then again, you also have to think you're also able to punch in other parts of the body too.
True.
Not just the head.
Yeah, it's got to be body blows.
Right. You got to do body blows. You could do a liver punch.
There you go.
You can punch in the ribs. Mm-hmm. I mean, oh yeah. I mean, you could do literally anything you want. My only concern about this is to make sure that the fighters are okay. This could be an innovative thing.
Okay.
But now on the other side of things, I also look at it this way. Okay. You will have a certain population who will look at this and they'll try to compare it to MMA. Oh, this is so one-dimensional. It's just, people throwing punches. How come they can't throw strikes? How come they can't grapple? Because then you'll have a lot of MMA people who will hate on it. You'll have a lot of, people who will just – because I think that what people are so used to in this country now is watching something – oh, yeah. I mean, obviously one person hitting another person is obviously considered a combat sport, and people enjoy it. Fighting is in our DNA, right? However, what we're presenting to people now is that we're presenting kind of like free form. You can grapple, you can kick, you can punch, you can elbow, you can do so many things. And people are so used to seeing that. that now, and this is the reason why boxing has gone down in recent times. You know, it wasn't the popular sport that it once enjoyed. You know, the popularity it once enjoyed. So now you're giving people another one-dimensional sport that they can actually take a look at to enjoy. Will it go over? I mean, because you have a lot of people who are so fixated on looking at how MMA goes that, you know, some people could scream boring.
True. You know what? There's only one way to find out and only one time to find out. When this fight goes down in, what do you say, June, roughly?
June 2nd.
Okay. So we'll find out June 2nd, live on pay-per-view, bare knuckle fighting from the great state of Wisconsin.
Wisconsin? Dude, it's Cheyenne, Wyoming.
From the great state of Wyoming.
And that is, kids, is not how you promote anything. Okay, Larry. Okay, Larry's mad at me now. All right, let me calm it down. I was only kidding, Larry. Good grief. Oh boy. Now, all kidding aside, hey, we'll see what happens.
Exactly.
When people saw UFC for the first time, people kind of looked at it and go, "What the hell is this?"
Of course. Remember back then, 25 years ago.
People have not seen bare knuckle fighting since 1889. For God's sake.
Pretty well. At least not sanctioned. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So, you know, I mean, let's see what happens. You know, I mean, do you want to watch it?
I'd watch it.
Why don't we throw an intern party that day?
Do you want to throw an intern party?
Let's do it. Let's throw an intern party. Let's have your interns hang out with my intern over here, or interns over here.
Well, your intern's gone.
Well, I don't. He's on the loose somewhere, and I'm not going to stop him. So, you know, I'm not having no search party to stop him. But let's see what happens. Let's throw an intern party. I mean, I think Jeremiah, I mean, you know, he's okay. We don't know who Huang is. We'll do a shot for Huang. How's that?
Oh, man. Well, careful. When you use the term shot and Wang, you got to be careful.
Oh, that's right. That's right. He does come from the north.
Yeah.
But, yes, you're right. Absolutely right. Now, okay. So, Larry, I think it's about that time in which we do your favorite episode.
Oh.
Or your favorite segment of the episode.
Every episode is my favorite episode.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Of the retro games.
All right. Okay. Oh. Edit that out now. You hear me, Jeremiah? Edit that out now. It better not show up on the
We'll see.
On Friday. It better not show up.
Because Jeremiah's running the board here. Just because he can hear you doesn't mean he's going to listen to you.
You know what? I am annoyed now. I really am. I'm annoyed. And I'm getting to the point now where I just might go over to Studio A and do some bare knuckle fighting on my own.
You want to bring it? You want to bring it?
You know what, Larry?
I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool.
I think Carlito's talking to you this week.
Hey, listen. Hear this? Listen. Ready? Bring it.
Wow. Are you challenging your co-host? So
June 2nd is the bare knuckle fight pay-per-view?
We may have to add an extra fight to that card.
The prelim, I challenge you to a bare knuckle fight on June 2nd.
In the words of the great Tony Montana, you want to fuck with me? You're fucking with the best.
All right, it's going down, folks. It's going down.
That's
Panda versus the Machine.
No, it's more like the panda versus the polar bear.
Ooh. All right. We're gonna.
Well, you're already white.
This is true.
Listen, racism is stupid. Okay. Pandas. Look at pandas. Panda's black. Panda's white. Panda's Asian. They all love me.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see exactly what comes about it.
All right.
But
all right.
What do we got this week?
Okay. So I was this past weekend going on YouTube, and every time I'm trying to play some music or whatever, every time I'm trying to look at, martial art competitions, not Can you really look up porn on YouTube? Really?
Well, there's
Larry,
enough
there are
videos.
kids listening to the show, I think.
Those are bad parents.
So every freaking place I'm looking, right, Larry? There's always got to be some video, and I'm guessing that they're gauging what I'm watching or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's always got to be some video about these people who put up these videos about how they hate the art of Wing Chun. They hate traditional arts. They hate this. They hate that. And it's getting to the point now, I'm really annoyed at this.
Really?
And I'm watching these videos, and my blood is boiling at this point. I'm looking at these people, and I'm not going to give them the time of day. I'm not going to promote anybody, all right, because it's just absolutely stupid. And this is an art that, once again, I have given my life. I've given almost 15, 20 years of my life to doing this art. And to be pretty much honest with you and all that, I'm looking at this, and I'm thinking to myself, why all this hatred? You don't see people putting up videos about how come Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu doesn't work. How come mixed martial arts doesn't work in the street? How come mixed martial arts is not effective? How come BJJ is not effective in a street situation? Look, the reason why, and let me just clear the air about something, okay? I think that there are three types of people who take up Wing Chun. Now, for those of you who don't know about the art, I'd suggest you to go take a look at it, see what it's all about. Now, as far as the art's concerned, there are three types of people who take it, in my opinion, okay? And this is solely my opinion. Now, the first type of person is basically influenced by Bruce Lee.
Okay.
Because it is the only formal martial art, that he's ever taken by a formal instructor. Ip Man. That's the only formal martial art training he's ever had. Everything else he got from exchanging knowledge with friends, reading books, things like that. There's no YouTube back in his day. There's no, internet. There's no exchange of information and an open communication like it is now. Mm-hmm. Okay. So people look at Bruce Lee, they hear and they know that he learned from Wing Chun, and he came from that. Jeet Kune Do, which is what he created, is based upon Wing Chun, right? It's based upon Wing Chun theories and principles. So the first type of person is a Bruce Lee fan. I'm a Bruce Lee fan. The second type of person who takes up Wing Chun is the kind of person who basically is involved or obsessed with the quote-unquote romanticization of this art. In other words, they've watched too much TV, too many dramas, maybe Asian movies, or too many dramas, like they've watched too many, like Donnie Yen, did the Ip Man series. Maybe they watched that and they figured, cool, hey, if he can do that, I can do that too. Mm-hmm. And the third type of person is a type of person who wants to learn about the art. They want to learn about the traditions. They want to and by the way, Wing Chun is not a very long system. A lot of Chinese martial arts, they have like dozens of forms, hand forms, okay, or people call katas. Then there's dozens and dozens of weapon sets. Then there's dozens and dozens of different techniques like locking and whatever, And Wing Chun is a very simple system. It's a very short system. There are 3 hand forms, 2 weapon sets, 1 wooden dummy, and the rest you do, it's called Chi Sao or Chi Guk. So Chi Sao is sticking hand. It's a drill that we do to produce and train sensitivity. So you know what's coming at you before it comes.
Okay.
And Chi Guk is basically sticking leg. So it's to train your leg strength, train your coordination, and how to use your legs in a combative situation. That's it. There's nothing else. So a lot of people, what they want to do is they figured, hey, this is a system where I can get my instructorship really quick. Let's just do that. And then in 2 years, I can get my certification. 3 years, I can get my certification. As opposed to some arts like Hung Gar or Eagle Claw. It takes you like 10, 15 years. So there are three different types. Now, me, why did I choose Wing Chun? Because when I started the art in 2001, I was overweight. I can't do jumps. I can't do flips. And all that. So Wing Chun is a grounded art. We don't kick above the waist. We don't waste any movements. It's a very grounded art and a very practical one. But let me say this. All these people or the majority, I would say 99% of the people who put up these I hate Wing Chun videos and how it doesn't work and how it's not effective, these people are not experts in the art. They haven't learned the whole system. They're basing it upon rumor and innuendo. They're basing it upon people who don't know the art fully. They've never practiced the art on a consistent basis. And they probably go on YouTube and say, oh, look, there's a Wing Chun guy losing to an MMA fighter. Oh, Wing Chun sucks. Let's just do a video about it, right? Now, let me say this, okay?
Okay.
And this is what's very aggravating, is that these people have this presumption that all of a sudden now, oh, my art's better than yours, and this art's not better than this one, and blah, 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 and my art is like supreme, and, and all that. Listen, there is no such thing as an invincible, infallible, perfect art. It is the person who utilizes it that you fight. You don't fight the style. I think I've said this many a times. If you haven't heard me say this, then fucking you don't listen to the show, or you don't know what you're talking about. Okay, a case in point example, Larry. Mike Tyson. You've met the man.
I have twice.
Okay? The guy is the former heavyweight champion of the world. At his age right now, he can take his boxing skills and practically knock virtually most people out, especially the average human being.
Agreed.
Okay? Now, just because Mike Tyson is good at boxing, it doesn't mean anybody can do what he does and be as great.
True.
Right? Just because Bruce Lee invented Jeet Kune Do, it doesn't mean that, well, if I take up Jeet Kune Do, I'm going to be as good as Bruce Lee. There's no way you can compare that. So these people are basing it, and what they're doing is the people who don't know are going, oh, yeah, they're speaking the truth. Oh, yeah, it's so true. Oh, yeah, I'm going to go and learn the art now, and or I'm going to just hate on the art, right? I'm going to learn it. I'm going to test it out. And you're testing out at an amateur level, which is what happened to that one Wing Chun guy who fought the MMA guy in China. He claimed he was in an advanced level, and he's not. So for all these people who put, if you don't know and you're not an expert at something, shut your dick liquor.
Oh, wow.
All right? Shut the fuck up and basically stick to what you know. And if you want to know about something, then learn it and immerse yourself into something and don't keep a closed mind. Because what is the biggest culprit in the world? The biggest culprit in the world is people not having an open mind. Okay? The greatest form that I can say to you is think about what Bruce Lee said about water. Okay? If you put, be like water. If you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Water can flow, it can crash. So be like water, because running water never grows stale. So you just have to keep on flowing. So for those people who put up these hatred videos, whether it be about Wing Chun, whether it be about other arts, this is what I have to say to you. And it's very simple. Do you know what happens when stupid, moronic bumblefucks such as yourselves, and you know who you are, and this is not targeted towards a person, a school, a system, a whatever. It's for people who don't do their homework. You know what happens when stupid idiots put up videos and basically trash others and give a negative example towards the martial arts community?
Oh, boy.
Huh? Do you know what happens?
Oh, man.
For all you haters out there, you just got chewed out.
Oh, nice. Nice hit. Nice hit.
God damn. I think that we're expanding the universe now.
I think we are. We're putting the world on notice.
Exactly. Since we're not and I'm not saying this to garnish any type of publicity. I'm not saying it to gain free downloads or people to listen or to check my YouTube and Spreaker likes and how many people have downloaded the episode. This is coming from the heart, is that martial arts, the original idea is that it's built to unite people, but instead it's separating people, right? And it's like because of styles, people are separated. It's exactly like what Bruce said. What happens is, the original founder of that style had to come up with some type of hypothesis. They had to do some type of analyzation and study and research. And then what happens is that it doesn't matter what you're shaped like, what your conditioning is, who you are, how you're structured. You just go out there and be that product, and it's wrong. Why not just open your mind and your hearts and let's respect one another, in the martial art community. It's
Amen.
Bad enough. It's bad. And let the world take notice of this, is that if we could just, put our differences aside and pretty much unite for one good common cause, we'd have a better place.
Can't we all just get along?
Exactly, Larry. 100% right. Jeez. Okay, fans, so I hope that you're enjoying the show thus far. And I realized last week we've gotten a lot of feedback, and a lot of you did not have a very good time of us discussing over an hour of wrestling. I mean, it is WrestleMania, folks. I mean, so, not to make a very big deal out of it, but then some of you also wrote to us and said to us that, you enjoyed our review of WrestleMania. So, we try our best to try to cater to everybody and just try to make everybody happy with, what they've got. However, let me just say, we didn't take any Q&A last week because we were just so immersed. And if we did, we would have probably had like a 2.5, 3 hour show. So with time constraint, we want to dedicate this main event segment, this last segment of the show, to you,
I like
the
that.
viewers.
The main event segment.
Exactly. So if the rest of the program sucks, you guys can blame it on yourselves. But
wow,
just like what Larry has inscribed in his manner.
What?
Right?
What?
Didn't you say you have a plaque that says if the show's not good, it's the people's fault?
No. I have when you walk in to the atrium that leads into the main part of the house, is encased in gold. It says, "Win if you can, lose if you must, but always cheat."
Oh, for good God's sake! Oh God! You see, fans, see what I have to deal with? About 25 years worth of this. You're nuts. Totally nuts. So, we got a good amount of emails here. And actually, before I even go into the questions, I just wanted to say that there are some people who actually wrote in and said that I am actually – one person actually wrote in. His name is Sans Cadet. He was on Twitter, and he tweeted me that the nucleus of the show is not really me, it's you.
Oh, really?
He's a very big fan of your network. He listens to in on all the shows, and he's a very big fan. He's a subscriber on YouTube, and he thinks that I'm actually the weak link of this. Wow!
Duo. I mean, I got to agree with him, but wow!
What? What the hell do you mean you agree with him?
What happened?
I'm like a wheelbarrow. I'm carrying you. He apparently doesn't think so. Listen to this one. This one guy, Byron, all right, who writes to us from Scottsdale, Arizona, says, I've been listening to your show since day one, and I have to be very honest with you about something. That Larry is the sole owner of – I think you really put this guy up to this shit, okay? Because he writes to me, I just wanted to let you know that of the two of you, Larry knows what he's doing, and you're riding along his coattails.
Wow.
So like a GPS, you couldn't follow Larry even if he did give you a GPS. Can you believe this?
Wow. That is some – I mean –
who the hell scripted this fucking guy's comment? New Jack?
Listen. Don't worry about where the email originated from. Just concern yourself with the fact that we have wonderful listeners out there.
Oh, for heaven's sake. Wonderful listeners.
Wonderful. Yes.
All right there. Broken, awoken Matt Hardy, whatever you want to call yourself this week. All right, so listen, let's get on with it. Before I read any more of this and I blow my top, allow me to just write down some notes here about the stupidity of some of our listeners.
What?
But yeah, I didn't get any love. No love for me. Nobody wrote anything to comment and praise me about what I've done for the show and for what I've done for this network. In 7 episodes, I break a record in the network. Nobody says anything about that. Right?
Well, you know,
Who's the one guy who comes up with the topic? Shut up, I'm not done. Who is the one guy who writes who comes up with one shootout and unites all 3 shows?
I mean, we have the interns who do run the show. Well, not run the show, but make sure the show floats along.
Oh, boy. Give me a break. Yeah, okay. Are we done? Are we done?
I think so.
Okay, fine. Thank God. Now, so the first question comes from somebody named Tribster77. Tribster? Anyway, from Boston, Massachusetts. He writes, guys, can you give me advice on an advanced workout session focusing on cardio? Sure. I would say that one of the single best things that you could do for cardio. Now, I mean, it would be nice if he gave me his age, his how much does he work out on a consistent basis, whatever the case may be. But I would say one of the best is if you can find any workout that does circuit / high intensity interval training. In other words, work out really hard. In other words, like let's say if you're doing boxing for 1 minute, right? And then you transition to push-ups, and then you transition to burpees, then you transition to, let's say, dips, that type of thing, or lunges, and you do 5 rounds worth. I start off with 30 seconds, and then keep switching. You do 5 rounds, and you take a good 1-2 minute break, right? 1 minute break, let's just say. And then you go right into the next round, and then next round, the next round. And then generally in the beginning, you start off with about 1 or 2 rounds. Like what my coach does for me is he'll start us off pretty easy. He'll start us off doing 30 seconds, as many push-ups as you can. And then the next round is he'll have us do dips.
Okay.
So that we'll do about 15 dips, 10 dips or whatever. And then the third round is he'll have us doing like burpees. So as many burpees as you can do for 30 seconds. Then he'll have us do fourth round is a plank for 30 seconds. But a plank with one leg up, in the air. Then the fifth round is basically just jumping jacks, as many as you can do for, and then we rest, for like 30 seconds to a minute. And then we go into the next round. And then the next round is completely different than the first. Mm-hmm. So what you're doing is you're upping your cardio and you're – so think of it this way. Have you ever looked at the body of marathon runners?
Yes.
Right? And then have you ever looked at the body of a sprinter? Right?
Well, yeah. I mean, but I guess never really compared to the two of each other.
Right. But look at what a sprinter's physique is, and then look at what a marathon runner's physique is. Mm-hmm. Well, the sprinter is the one who does the high intensity interval training, does the circuit training. Basically, marathon runners do it for distance and endurance. Mm-hmm. Very different, concepts of training. See what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I see what you're talking about.
So that's one thing. The second thing is the idea that, take it slow. Don't go fast. Don't rush. Don't go crazy. Just take it slow, mm-hmm. Secondly, the second question comes from Clearview78, who writes to us on Instagram. actually followed me and then wrote me a question here. And he says, why do you speak so negatively about young people / millennials?
Do we?
Okay, well, we do. I mean, in a way, we do. Because, we joke around about how they should just, if they want to listen very carefully, drop your Tide Pods.
Yeah.
We said that a lot of young people don't know shit.
I gotta say this, though. Unfortunately, I may have to give millennials a little bit of credit with this whole Tide Pod challenge, because I just saw recently an ad for protein powder, at the gym, that you can put in your mixer that come in those packs, those pre-sorted, disposable pods that you just put in your shaker and just shake away. So,
my good Lord, you're kidding, right?
No, I'm not kidding at all. That is 100% shoot.
Oh, why? Oh, jeez.
So, be on the lookout.
Ridiculous. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sure. Yeah. Right. Look, we don't make fun of young people and millennials, I don't think, but I think that a lot of them, this is what boggles my mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
Larry, when you and I growing up, when we were kids, we didn't have fancy technology. We didn't have everything that we had to learn came from books. It came from actually doing something physically. We don't get on our smartphones, and it's almost like technology has made people very, very lazy. Technology's nice, it's great, it's very convenient and all that. Don't get me wrong. But it's like there's a very far difference in, like when you're at that age of like 15 to 20, 22, what happens is you think you know all the answers, but in reality, you don't know shit.
This is true.
Because you haven't experienced the world. You don't know what the harsh reality of the world is. Okay? Case in point example, all right? A lot of these young people are talking about gun violence, gun control, and stuff like that, and I admire their passion, and I understand what their focus is and all that other stuff. But little do they know that the people who do pull the strings and call the shots, whether it be Capitol Hill, they don't care. They really don't care about them. And it doesn't matter what political affiliation is. They are more concerned about themselves and about how to keep a certain aura of things running and a certain flow of things that, it's like, there's a really scary saying that at one point that says, when you're young, all you care about is saving the world. And then when you're in the middle of your life, all you care about is saving the people around you. And then when you're towards the end of your life, all you care about is saving yourself.
Okay, I can see that.
So in a way, it's a cycle of life. And a lot of these kids, they're out here, they thinking that they know everything and they have all the answers, but they really don't.
They don't know shit from shit.
There you go. And that's just we're not saying everybody. We're just saying a good, solid amount or the majority of kids. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that there aren't intelligent kids who are not changing the world or who will change the world. I hope that things do change for the better. But what I'm saying is, until you do such a thing and you be the change that you want to see in the world, don't act like you know everything. You don't. All right. And that you have all the answers to life, because it's like almost like there's only so much you can read about something until you actually experience it and do it and live through it, or whatever the case is. Mm-hmm. You have no leg to stand on,
I agree.
To discuss a topic. I mean, like, people ask me all the time, oh, what's your opinion about this art and this art? And if I don't know anything about it, I'm going to say flat out, I'm sorry. I can't answer the question because I don't know anything about it. Let me go and learn. Let me do some research. But these kids nowadays, they don't do that. They just think that they have. It's almost as if like a lot of young millennials, a lot of young people and millennials cannot say the three words, I don't know. Mm-hmm. And that's the problem I have, with that. So we're not dissing them, or we're not disrespecting them. It's just that, you take it from two guys who have lived through a lot, meaning us.
Oh, yeah.
And so there you go. So I hope that answers the question for whoever Clearview 78 is. Benjamin Hardsdale, sorry. From the state of New York. That's all he writes. Don't know where in New York. He writes, Larry, how about this one? How does one become a commando/militant, or how does one qualify to be?
Very easy. You want to go to facebook.com/Yin and Yang podcast, hit the like button, and just like that, you become a member of the Choose Commandos, the Mormon Militant, and you will be part of this group, this rebel alliance that seeks to do better in this world, to make this world a better place for everybody, everywhere, except for one rogue intern who's out there somewhere right now.
My answer? Yep. I couldn't have said it any better. Just like that. I mean, that's all. I mean, work out, eat right, take care of yourself, be good to each other, and get on Facebook, like us, follow us, listen to us, subscribe, and there you go. You're a commando. You're a militant. Whatever you want to be.
Train, say your prayers, eat your vitamins, believe in yourself, and believe in Hulkamania.
Sure. Yep. Of course. Exactly. Let's see. Sammy Abbasi writes to us from Denver, Colorado. How do you think you do against a grizzly bear?
Ooh.
With me and my 45, I think I do pretty good.
All right. I thought you meant your age.
No, me and my Colt 45, I think I do
you.
pretty good.
I got you. I smell what you're cooking.
Yeah, there you go. Speaking of that, I got to take some baked chicken out of the oven at some point. Let's see here. Melanie Adada from Galveston, Texas writes, what is a quote that you live by? Oh, no. Oh, Larry, don't answer this question. Oh, boy. Okay, I'll go first because Larry's scheming something right now. Melanie, I think that one of the quotes that I live by is that if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. I just think that at some point you have to focus up, believe in something, have some type of direction in your life. And if you don't stand for what you believe in, you'll fall for anything. I mean, accept the ways of others, but never compromise your own. I think that's pretty important, Mm-hmm. Larry?
I got the mantra hanging above my, above the atrium, but I personally like to live my life. So I like to live, with the model. What? I like to live with the motto.
I'd like to live with a model too.
Honestly, life moves pretty fast.
Victoria's Secret model.
Life moves pretty fast. Damn it! Life moves pretty fast. Sometimes you got to stop and take it in a little bit. I completely misquoted that from Ferris Bueller because you got me all messed up.
I'm sorry. I just the timing's a little off this week. I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry about that.
Next question.
That's why we're the yin and the yang.
That's why we're like the guys from the Sonic commercials.
Oh God, I think at this point they have better coordination than we do. Andrea Barista.
No, she works at Starbucks.
All right. Maybe, yeah, I guess so, or in a coffee shop somewhere. We don't mean to make fun of your last name, but it's just Barista. Is that a real last name? Okay. Anyway, Andrea writes, why are there no videos of the both of you on USW? I've looked far and wide to look, especially on YouTube, as to how come there's no evidence of you guys wrestling for the USW. Okay. Allow me to extrapolate this one. Can I take this?
You can take the horns.
Okay. So this is what happened. Okay. USW has its roots as originally the ARF. And then it turned into the USCW and then USW. So what happened was that the USW folded in 2001. Now, at the time, please keep in mind of something. The internet was present, but the internet is not what you think of now. So basically, a lot of that was caught on videotape. and to convert it into either a DVD format or to display it on YouTube is a pretty difficult task. Now, the bigger problem of this is simply that it's a legality issue at this point. So Larry and I formed a faction called the Anti-USW. We were heels. We are anti-establishment. And what happened was that the President Rippo, who the scum-sucking piece of shit that he is in the face of the earth, I'm going to say this because he doesn't listen to our podcast. He shouldn't listen to our podcast. And if we found out that he did, we'd make sure that he would be outlawed by the entire thing. So here's the deal. What had happened was we have a pending lawsuit with him. It's been an ongoing lawsuit for quite some time to gain back the rights and to gain royalties, actually, for our name, our likeness. And since we couldn't come to a compromise, it's been a stalemate for quite some time. Now, we didn't realize that he was using some of our material for local publication, syndication, as well as using our names and likenesses for promoting his own business in California, which is where he moved to. So with that said, we sent a cease and desist letter from our attorney, and he basically just kind of looked at us and just says, fuck you both. I own your names. I own your likenesses. And I said, that's bullshit because you can't use our real names. So we were looking for some type of compromise, I guess you could say, to come to some type of a resolution. And he has yet to answer us. And apparently we're just really at a stalemate right now. And it's been like that for many years.
Yep, agreed.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
It's as simple as that. Okay, I guess we're even now, Larry. So I hope that answers Andrea's question here. So Julia Sanchez writes to us at an undisclosed location, I guess. What is your opinion on capoeira as a combat art? Okay, now capoeira as a combat art, what can you honestly say about it? Now I'm going to basically practice what I preach. It's a beautiful art that combines music, rhythm, dance, and a combative form of martial arts. Some people would argue that it's music. Some people would argue that it's a dance. And some people would say it's a martial art. I've seen it. To me, it's a beautiful art. I know people who take it. You have to be probably really good in strength, agility, speed, cunning. You have to learn how to play an instrument or instruments to become a mestre, which is a teacher. But to be very honest with you, as far as the inner technical workings of the art, I don't know anything about it. I've never taken it. I know people who do it. It's also changed a lot of people's lives.
Really?
So, yes. Believe it or not, capoeira in Brazil, in a lot of regions in Brazil, have reformed a lot of criminals, a lot of people who have done a lot of bad. It's the national sport of Brazil. And it's also a part of their Afro-Latino, the Afro-Brazilian cultural heritage.
Really? Okay.
So it is taken very seriously. But I don't know anything further than that. I'm going to give you all good things about it because if it's doing good for people on Earth and it really helps the individual, and it's been applied in mixed martial arts before I've seen, I have nothing but good to say about it. I unfortunately don't know enough about it to form a solid opinion. So I do apologize about that, just being honest here.
No, that's what we look for. We are, if nothing else, we are absolute honest here. Both you and I are the two most honest people that the airwaves will allow to broadcast. So we are 100%.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you hear that static? I think that you just said that I'm the honest one because there is no way on earth a person can be honest by creating a autobiography called "I Probably Screwed You Too: The Larry Mormon Story." No way.
That's the go. Let's move on. What's the next question?
All right. The next question, actually, these are two interesting questions that actually are for us. And specifically, you're the expert on this one.
Okay.
So Liam from Dublin, Ireland, all the way from Dublin, Ireland. Hello. I just wanted to say we love our Irish fans. I have got to go to Ireland, dude. It's just I've heard a lot of awesome things about it. And Liam asked, "What is an underrated martial arts fighting game in your opinion?"
Underrated. It's hard to say because it's kind of like a lot of games kind of incorporate martial arts. So, like, what would you consider a true martial arts game? What would you not consider a true martial arts game? You got games like Final Fight that one of the characters, Cody and Guy, use martial arts in. Not as much Hagar, he uses professional wrestling. Then you got like Streets of Rage, that kind of has a little bit into it. I don't know if you want to dip into the Ninja Turtles franchise. It's kind of that's a tough one. But if you want to go old school, and I'm talking OG, we've talked about it in the past, and it's one of your favorites, Kung Fu on the NES. Classic, and really hasn't gotten its just due in the history of 8-bit gaming.
I know that your expertise is gaming all around, but your specialty is actually your forte, if I can say, is retro gaming, Larry.
It is. I mean, look, I play all sorts of games. I'm an avid gamer. I'm on the Switch all the time, and I'm looking forward to actually at WrestleMania. At the Superdome, there was a demo. Capcom was demoing the 30th anniversary Street Fighter game that's coming out. That will have 12 different Street Fighters it's for the PS4, the Xbox One, Steam, and the Nintendo Switch. Mm-hmm. So it's, there's new and old, but, as you can see, the collection behind me is starting to get elaborate. With classic games from Japan as well. In fact, I believe there's a sumo game that's on the Mini Famicom, which is the Japanese NES Mini, which is really good. So it kind of depends on where you go. But I honestly, if you can find it, I would say Kung Fu.
Okay, the way I'm going to answer this question is if you talk in terms of modern martial art games, I would say to you, modern-wise, I think a very underrated game would be Mortal Kombat 4. And I'll tell you why I like Mortal Kombat 4 so much. Because
See, I didn't think you would consider that martial arts. I agree with you there.
Well, of course, because Mortal Kombat is purely a martial art. What I like about Mortal Kombat 4 is that it was the first time on a gaming console they introduced a game where each fighter that we both know, or each character, has two real martial arts styles, and a weapon set, which was unbelievable to me because as a martial artist, I think that what I loved about it is that I now gain insight as to how an art works. When you beat the game and you roll credits, you'll see somebody like what's the name of the character who's blind in that game? He was red.
Shaolin? No, not Shaolin.
But you know what I'm talking about,
I know
right?
exactly what you're talking about. No, not Fei Long.
Right. Well, I mean, like, you'll see, like, I think, was it Kung Lao or was it Liu Kang was doing Hung Gar Kung Fu? Or you'll see that
you're not talking about Kenshi, are you?
Kenshi, that's it.
Okay.
So Kenshi was doing Tai Chi, and it shows you the different forms. So they actually used real forms, real martial arts styles, and real martial art weapons. And for me, it was one of the most underrated games because as a martial artist, if you're fighting a guy who has, like, let's say Taekwondo's all kicking, it needs distance. Or if you're using Muay Thai, it uses all distance. And, you can counteract that with Wing Chun, which is close distance. So by being able to counteract that, you can limit his kicking ability by sticking close to him. If you had, let's say, like a long pole, you can counter it with the butterfly knives, which is a short end weapon. So the ability to use styles in that game was just fucking awesome to me, And then if you talk about retro gaming, I got to be very honest with you. I think Kung Fu or Kung Fu Master, as you had mentioned before, is possibly the most underrated game in retro gaming terms, because not only did that game give out a dedication to Bruce Lee, because Bruce Lee's Game of Death, his last movie, because you had to go up a pagoda of different levels. As cartoonish and as comical as it is, you had to fight the different masters at the end of the game. That's a nod to Bruce Lee going up every level, having to fight a master. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So the game has more value than it really appears. Which, interestingly enough, brings me to the last question of the day, and it's written by a gentleman named Ricky from Omaha, Nebraska. And he writes, "Dear fellas, I realize that this is a great show. However, I did listen to the Retro Gamers, and I do have to admit that Anthony does not know what he's talking about, because Double Dragon, in my opinion, is not a fighter game. It is not classified as a fighter game because you only use 2 kicks, 2 punches, and an elbow, which is not producing a realistic style of fighting, such as something compared to a Mortal Kombat or Karate Champ. So Double Dragon is more of an action-adventure game. So P.S., Anthony, please get your facts straight." Yeah, thanks a lot, pal. Really appreciate it. Now, once again, making my co-host look good, and I get the shit ended.
Well, listen, actually, that response is in the minority. A lot of people are agreeing with you about Double Dragon, how it is a fighter.
Really?
In fact, last week's episode of the Retro Gamers, where I was away since I was in New Orleans, spending the money of the podcast. I mean, living it up in New Orleans for WrestleMania. Anthony Rippo had a guest co-host of his, friend of his, out in L.A., Jay, who did a tremendous job. The two of them actually talked a lot about arcades, which is good because me and Anthony admittedly are very Nintendo heavy, but that's what we grew up on. But they talked, and Anthony actually presented the question to him: is it a fighter? And they said, yeah. Not only is it a fighter, but it's groundbreaking because it's one of the first games to kind of feature like this, almost domestic dispute violence, because the opening, when the game starts, the guy's girlfriend,
a woman
right in the belly.
That's like abuse to women.
Yeah.
Right. It also talks about gang violence.
Yeah.
It also has basically what was it? What was that one thing that it had? It had the fact that guns were introduced into a game like that. In a fighter game.
Steroids,
right?
A Bobo.
Steroids, because a Bobo, yeah, he's a huge steroid-looking. He looked like Zeus, pretty much, with a bigger head. And
Move me, ha!
And the other thing is,
he should go in the Hall of Fame.
Who?
Zeus.
Zeus? Yes, he should.
Absolutely.
Yes, he should. Exactly. Now, celebrity wing or a wrestler?
A wrestler. He was at, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. He was the, No Holds Barred, the movie, the match.
Hulk Hogan. That's all I can say.
Hulk Hogan, Beefcake Bobber. We will destroy you. And he always, was looking left and up at the same time.
Yep, exactly. So, so those are some pretty dang awesome questions, man, that we've gotten this week. We had promised you that we would give this segment out to the people. So thank you to Tripster77, Clearview78, Benjamin, Sammy, Melanie, Andrea, Julie, Liam, and Ricky, of course.
Sounds like the end of Romper Room when I was on Romper Room. And
it does, doesn't
Billy
it?
And Cookie and Sally and Wendy.
So you were a child actor.
My friend,
a former child actor.
For most people, 15 minutes of fame is all they have. I have a lifetime of fame. That's where the idea of Larry Mormon started. Way back when, on WWOR television, Channel 9, out of Secaucus, New Jersey, on a little show called Romper Room, is where yours truly, the man, the myth, the absolute living legend, made his debut on American airwaves, and since then has not stopped the wave of...
all right. Oh my God. All right. Can we be any more self-promoting than we already are? Huh? Can we? I mean, listen, let Dewey Cheatham Howe do the foreword to your book, and then we'll have the national publication, and we'll see everybody. We'll see actually the Ponzi schemer that you are. All right. Jesus. It's like, can we be any? Do you self-promote? Do you promote yourself on the other shows?
I do. Well, they tend to promote themselves, so it's quite all right. So,
oh boy, well
it's quite okay.
Well, the inferiority complex kid on that one show loves to make sure that he's basically over you at any given point, and the world's greatest cynic on the other show just basically shoots the shit with you. Do you guys even talk about anything that deals with the show anymore? Or is that just shooting the shit?
You talking about on the better half?
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of turned into that.
No, well, that's nice.
Hey, listen, it evolves.
It's a podcast version of The Sandlot.
It evolves, so...
All right. What
is that?
What the fuck?
Jeremiah, can you go check on... I don't know why someone's knocking on... All right, he's gonna go check on that. That's weird.
Okay.
All right.
So while he's going to check on that, listen, the next dates for the I Should Have Quit. Just when we thought we were out, they pulled us back in tour. My next public appearance is going to be April 25th. I'm going to be in North Brunswick, New Jersey. I'm going to be in a theater watching The Karate Kid and then the first 2 episodes of Cobra Kai.
That's cool.
So if you see me, come hang out. Come check me out. Come talk to me, and we'll give you a shout out on the pod. And by the way, if you guys have any questions about anything or want a shout out or have any comments, questions, please hit us up on yinandyangpodcast at gmail.com. That's my next public appearance. And then after that, we will be 3-4 days later at Chiller Theater in Parsippany, New Jersey.
Yes.
And we'll be broadcasting there. So, Larry?
What do I got coming up? I got...
Next couple of dates?
The end of this month, like you mentioned, Chiller Theater. We're going to be doing that. Early May, I'll be at the Nassau Coliseum for Monday Night Raw. July, I will be at Madison Square Garden. Ronda Rousey making her MSG debut for WWE.
Oh. And by the way, while we are at Chiller Theater, I would like to go to Ruth Chris Steakhouse.
Amen, brother.
All right.
Amen.
And I also want to say publicly, Larry, thank you very much for taking care of the complimentary meals.
What? Wait a minute.
The travel expenses and incidentals.
No,
this is something that was...
No.
This is... Yeah, I'll even prove it to you right now. Ensign, before he ran out, actually had given me a piece of paper saying that you'd be taking care of all travel expenses. So I appreciate that, Larry. Thank you so much.
That is not true.
I'm going to order the porterhouse when I'm there.
That is not true.
All right.
So, what? Wait, what's going on outside? What was that?
What in hell? Oh,
I think we're having some. Why are these television monitors are starting to go wacky? All right, don't worry about it. It's probably just the weather outside.
Okay. Well, folks, I think with that said, yes. Anything else happening on the other podcast?
Well, we're going to be recording the better half this week. And like I said, currently, by the time this dropped, then we have the episode of, by the time we record, when it drops, I'm very confused. On the Retro Gamers, we're just talking about, kind of a little bit of my trip down in New Orleans. I saw a couple of retro things down there in New Orleans. But really the biggest thing that we talked about on the Retro Gamers is the fact that it turns out that there is a huge issue going on right now with the Donkey Kong world record, where Billy Mitchell has been officially stripped of all of his high scores for Donkey Kong. He is no longer considered the first ever million-point Donkey Kong player. His perfect game of Pac-Man has been removed as well from Twin Galaxies and from the Guinness Book of World Records, and he's been barred for life to ever be able to put high scores back on the board. So huge things happening in the world of video games with Billy Mitchell, and that's what we talk about this week on the Retro Gamers.
Interesting. And the better half?
Again, we haven't recorded it yet, so it's just me and Frank talking.
Okay. Well, with that said, I think that we have depleted the resources here over at the Yin and the Yang. So, as always, we just appreciate the...
Wait, what? What are you doing here? Wait a minute. Where's Jeremiah? Where's Jeremiah? Ensign! What?
Ensign!
Oh!
Don't do that! No! Don't do it, Ensign!
What is going on around here?
Oh my God!
Jesus!
Oh my God, Larry, are you okay?
Oh, what is? Get back over here!
Oh,
all right, hold on. Here it is. Here you go. You want this? Huh? Yeah, that's a Glock. All right. Yeah. Is that what you want? Is that what you want to see staring you down the barrel of a gun?
Larry, take it easy. Take it easy.
What?
Oh my God!
Wait, what do you have in your hand? What do you have in your hand? What do you?
Oh my God, Larry, are you okay? Larry! Oh my God, I think that he just knocked out Larry. Holy crap! Well, Ensign, don't you dare! Don't grab the headset. What are you doing, Ensign? Ensign.
Podcast over.
Whoa! I don't know what on earth is going on in Mormon Manor over there, but apparently Larry just got a severe ass whipping. So I lost all feed. I lost all connection. Larry, are you there? Larry, Ensign, anybody? Apparently, we have no more We have no communication left with those guys over there. So with that said, I think that I don't think we're gonna get the feed back up anytime soon. So allow me to just close off this podcast by saying, guys and gals out there, thank you so much for your love and support. Thank you for listening to this show. As we always, we work our asses off to bring you the best that we can every single week, every Friday, as the Yin and the Yang podcast drops. So it's all sometimes wackadoo funny here, but I do hope that my partner's okay over there. But nevertheless, take care of yourselves, guys and gals out there. Eat right, work out, take care of your body, for your body is your temple. And other than that, just be good to each other. Be the change that you want to see in the world. Don't text and drive. Use the left and right turn indicators. And other than that, you can't teach that. Peace.